Gentlemen, here's a brutal truth you might not want to hear. Your wife could be cheating on you, and you have no idea. She's not leaving lipstick stains or obvious clues. No, she's far more subtle than that. The signs are hidden in the small, everyday moments. Her phone, her distance, her excuses. But I'm about to reveal the 7 warning signs that are hiding in plain sight. So, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and make sure you don't miss out. And hey, drop your city in the comments. Let's see how many of you are dealing with this worldwide. Sign 1. The changing phone behavior. Here's where it all begins. The first sign that something is off with your wife, and you might not even notice it until it's too late, is the sudden change in her phone habits. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, she's just being more private. But no, that's not it. When a woman starts to guard her phone like it's her most precious possession, you should start asking yourself some serious questions. Remember when her phone was always lying around on the kitchen counter or on the coffee table? You could see every notification, and she never hesitated to share little details about what she was up to. Those days are gone. Suddenly, her phone becomes a fortress. You don't get to touch it anymore. She's constantly swiping things away when they pop up, or worse, putting it on airplane mode whenever she's in a room with you. You may chalk it up to her needing privacy, but let me tell you, this is not about her privacy. This is about secrecy. It doesn't stop there. She's glued to that phone more than ever. And if you ask to look at it, maybe to show her something, or help with a problem, she'll give you a look, like you've crossed a line. Why are you acting so paranoid? She might say. And you know what? That's exactly what she wants you to feel. She's getting you to question your own instincts, making you think you're the one in the wrong for simply asking. But let's be honest here. How much of this privacy talk is really about her needing space, and how much of it is about hiding something from you? Think about it. Her once open phone is now locked down tighter than a bank vault. Every call, every text, every social media message feels like a secret she's keeping just for herself. And you know what's worse? The more she does it, the more you start second-guessing yourself. Am I overthinking this? Is she really just a private person? But trust me, gentlemen, this isn't paranoia. This is a red flag, and it's only the beginning of the games she's playing. What happens next? Well, it's not just about her phone anymore. Sign 2. Emotional distance. If you've noticed a shift in your wife's emotional warmth, you're not imagining things. That spark that used to light up when you entered the room, gone. That instant connection you used to feel during intimate conversations has been replaced with cold indifference. It's subtle at first, but it's a betrayal, just as damaging as anything physical. The first thing you'll hear is nothing's wrong when you ask what's going on, but deep down, you know the truth. Something is wrong. It starts with the small signs. No more lingering conversations. She used to share everything, the highs, the lows, even the tiny details about her day. Now, it's surface-level talk. Fine. Okay. Nothing special. When you try to talk about something meaningful, she brushes it off or changes the subject. It's like talking to a stranger, not the woman you once knew. You might even catch her looking away when you're speaking, her mind clearly elsewhere. But it doesn't end there. She's no longer confiding in you like she used to. She used to run to you for comfort after a rough day. Now, you can feel that distance growing. She's stopped sharing the little things, the stuff that once meant everything. It's almost as if she's already emotionally invested in someone else, someone who's taking your place. The worst part, she might be doing this without even realizing it. Maybe she doesn't even see the difference. After all, she's not physically cheating, right? But in the emotional landscape of your relationship, the damage is already done. Her heart is no longer in it. You're left grasping for that warmth that isn't there anymore, watching as she slowly pulls away. You can feel it when she stops seeking you out for emotional support. The "I miss you" texts become rare, replaced with a thanks for the dinner you made or the small things you do for her. The affection isn't gone overnight, but it's slowly fading. Her attention has wandered, and no matter how much you try to hold on, she's slipping through your fingers. But here's the kicker. This emotional distance is often a precursor to something much darker. The next sign? That's where the real games begin. Sign 3. Disappearing acts. Something's changed, hasn't it? She used to be there, always present, whether it was for a spontaneous dinner, a lazy weekend together, or just a quick chat before bed. But now she's suddenly too busy or needs time for herself more often than ever. And when she does make plans, you're not part of them. It starts, innocently enough. She signs up for a new gym across town, starts attending evening classes, or even takes up hobbies she never mentioned before. At first, it seems like a good thing. Self-improvement, right? But when you take a closer look, those late-night runs, those quick trips to the store, they're always happening when it used to be your time together. And don't forget how she's always too tired or busy when you try to make plans. You've probably asked yourself, is she really just trying to better herself? Or is she trying to escape something? Let's face it, when someone is constantly coming up with reasons to be away, whether it's a new project or a self-care routine, something is off. It's not about her wanting to grow. It's about creating space, physically and emotionally, so she can disappear from the relationship without raising any red flags. And here's the kicker. She's not even trying to hide it. She might even tell you, I need time for myself, which sounds like a healthy thing, doesn't it? But here's what you need to understand. Time for herself isn't about reflection or personal growth. It's about getting distance. And when that time becomes more important than your connection, she's already checked out emotionally. Her disappearing acts don't always involve big trips or events. Sometimes it's the smaller things. The quiet afternoons where she's not answering texts. The evenings she used to spend with you that are now filled with something else. What used to be time for us has turned into time for her, and maybe someone else. But here's the thing. What happens when this time apart goes even further? The next sign. It's not just about disappearing physically. It's about how she starts hiding her tracks. Sign 4, the alibi game. You know that feeling when something doesn't quite add up, but you can't pinpoint exactly why. That's how it starts when she gives you an alibi that doesn't sit right. It might sound like a harmless excuse at first. She tells you she was with her friends, working late, or had some unavoidable plans. But the more you press, the more the story starts to unravel. Let me give you an example. She says she was at dinner with a friend you've never heard of. When you ask for a few details, where they went, who else was there, or what they talked about, her answers are vague, incomplete, or downright inconsistent. She might even brush off your questions with a comment like, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" But this is where it gets interesting. Pay attention to how she reacts when you bring up the holes in her story. If she's getting defensive, shifting the blame onto you, or making you feel like you're invading her privacy, that's a red flag. This behavior doesn't scream honesty. Instead, it's like she's rehearsing an alibi she's not sure about. And here's the kicker. These alibis start stacking up. The more she tells you about where she's been, who she's been with, and why she was late, the more the inconsistencies pile up. She'll tell you she was with one group of friends on Thursday night, but then, a few days later, she mentions being with a different group, yet somehow they all seem to have the same details for their alibis, but you weren't included in any of them. Now, it's important to understand that this isn't about simple forgetfulness. No, it's a well-oiled routine designed to keep you in the dark, to make you question your own instincts. When the alibi game becomes second nature, that's when you should be on high alert. But what happens when you start catching her in more lies, and those excuses turn into outright hostility? In the next sign, we'll dive into how she manipulates your emotions to deflect attention from the real issue. Sign 5, defensiveness and guilt tripping. Have you noticed the shift in her tone when you bring up your concerns? At first, it was easy to talk things out, but now every question seems to be met with an icy wall of defensiveness. She doesn't just answer your questions anymore. She deflects, twists, and turns everything around to make you feel guilty. And somehow, You're left feeling like you're the one who's in the wrong for even asking. Let's be real here. You're not imagining things. She's been getting more defensive, hasn't she? When you ask her about the small changes you've noticed, the late nights, the sudden disappearance of affection, she reacts like you're accusing her of something outrageous. Why don't you trust me? She might snap, turning the whole conversation around, making it about your insecurities. It's subtle but powerful. That guilt trip she lays on you isn't just an emotional manipulation tactic, it's a calculated move. The more she can make you feel like you are the one with the problem, the less you'll press for the real answers. She's got you questioning your own judgment, wondering if maybe you're just being paranoid. And that's exactly what she wants. To make you second-guess your instincts, to make you believe that you're the one overreacting. Here's where it gets worse. The more you try to confront her, the more she plays the victim. She'll bring up your past mistakes or make you feel like you failed her in some way. If you loved me, you wouldn't question me like this, she might say. All of a sudden, you're the villain for caring too much, for wanting to know what's really going on. But let's be clear, this isn't love, it's control. She's playing with your emotions to make sure she gets to keep her secrets without any consequences. The problem with this constant guilt-tripping: it erodes your self-esteem, your confidence, and your ability to trust your own judgment. You're not just losing trust in her, you're losing trust in yourself. And that's a dangerous game to play. But here's the real twist. What if I told you that this guilt manipulation isn't the worst weapon she's using? The next sign, it's the emotional withdrawal that really seals the deal. Sign 6, the silent treatment and emotional withdrawal. This one is tough to swallow, but it's a warning sign you can't ignore. She stops talking to you, completely. It's not a fight. It's not about needing space for a day. No, this is different. This is emotional withdrawal, and it's one of the most damaging tactics in her arsenal. You've probably been here before. You try to have a conversation, maybe even a small one, but she shuts you out. No response, no eye contact. She might even leave the room mid-conversation or give you the cold shoulder. You ask if something's wrong and she says, "I'm fine," but you both know nothing is fine. What's even more alarming is that this silence isn't temporary. It lingers. It stretches out for days or weeks. The warmth that used to exist between you has faded, and you're left trying to connect with someone who's become a ghost in your own home. It feels like you're talking to a wall. She's physically there, but emotionally, she's a million miles away. This withdrawal doesn't just happen overnight. It's gradual, creeping in like a slow burn. You used to talk about your day, share thoughts, even joke around. Now, you're met with indifference. She's not interested in what you have to say, and worse, she doesn't seem to care if that bothers you. And here's where it gets even more dangerous. This silence isn't about giving you space. It's about making you feel alone in a relationship you once felt connected to. It's isolating. And as this emotional distance grows, it becomes harder for you to reach her. You start to doubt yourself, wondering if you've done something wrong or if you're just not good enough anymore. But let me make this clear. This isn't about you. This is about her choice to distance herself emotionally and likely to invest her energy elsewhere. At this point, you might be thinking, if she's emotionally checked out, what's left? But trust me, this withdrawal isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a much darker shift. In the next sign, I'll reveal the final blow. What happens when you finally see the truth that's been hiding in plain sight? Sign 7, the last straw, the truth unveiled. Here it is, the final confirmation. You've noticed the signs, felt the distance, and questioned everything. But now, you're staring at something concrete. The lies, the manipulation, the emotional withdrawal. It all leads to this moment. You've found the truth, and it's staring you right in the face. Maybe it's a text you weren't supposed to see. Maybe it's a conversation she left open on her phone when she thought you weren't looking. Or perhaps you stumbled upon an email, a missed call, or a message that leaves no room for denial. Whatever it is, it's undeniable. She's been hiding something from you, something much bigger than a harmless flirtation or a small lie. This is the moment when everything you've been sensing suddenly makes sense. It's like a puzzle that's been scattered across weeks, months, or even years, and now you've finally put the pieces together. Her excuses, her sudden disappearances, the secretive behavior, it all aligns into one glaring truth. She's been unfaithful, not just physically, but emotionally too. Her heart has been invested elsewhere for who knows how long. It's not just about the infidelity, though. It's about the deceit, the long, drawn-out process of being made to believe that you are crazy for doubting her. The emotional manipulation, the guilt-tripping, and the defensive walls she's built have all been designed to keep you in the dark while she pursues something or someone else. And now, the truth is here. But here's where it gets complicated. What do you do with it? Do you confront her? Do you walk away? This is the turning point, the moment where you can either choose to reclaim your power or let her continue to pull you deeper into her web of lies. See you in the next video.